Well, good grief. I did speed runs, and despite having run the car some, it got almost 37 miles an hour, and I was able to reproduce that on another run. Well, it was like just below 36 after running a little more. So on a perfectly fresh battery, it might even go 38, 37 or 38, which is faster than I expected. It actually handles better than I expected at those speeds. It's good. I guess it's because it's not so tail heavy like my Ultima is. I'm really impressed with how quick this thing is, and for $37, it's a great combo. I don't think it's accelerating crazy hard, so I guess it might actually be okay. We'll see how it holds up with time, but this is a nice surprise. I'll drive it around a little more. I'm just kind of rolling in the throttle like I do with my Ultima. I just wish I had the brakes toned down a bit. Whoa. Yeah, she's a little tail happy, but that's what I want. That's why I have those skinny tires on there. You know, I was thinking though, maybe if I put the larger tires on the back, the wider ones, these are front tires I actually have on the back. Maybe it'll, the braking won't be too much with a grippier set of tires. But yeah, she's pretty quick. I'm really happy. As long as this thing doesn't burst into flames and cook my vintage car, I'm just thrilled with how how it's running. And I'm not noticing any clogging. I'll drive slow when I get back over here. I'm expecting the battery to last a long time. Yeah, here's slow speed response. It glides so good too. There's very little resistance. Yeah, there's really no clogging at all. I was really worried from some of the reviews I had read about the sensorless motors like this one, the cheap ones, that they were not a lot of fun to drive at lower speeds. So I bit the bullet and went with the Hobby Wing setup in my Ultima. And don't get me wrong, I've been pleased with it. Like I said, it hit 45, which is as fast as I'd ever want it to go. But this, you know, instead of $100 was $37 with a programming card, and it took only 10 days to get shipped from China, which was, I think, the quickest I've ever received something from China. So look at that. This thing is a blast. This might actually be more fun to drive than the Ultima, honestly. It's not as prone to understeer. And I guess I'm glad I went with the 4370 kV setup. They only had in the Flash Hobby one on Banggood. Whoa! They only had the 3300 or the 4370, and I thought I might be underwhelmed with the 3300 setup. So this was the right choice for me. And I would definitely get the programming card if you get this setup, so you can turn that punch all the way down and then maybe set those brakes at 25 instead of 50% power. I might invest a little more money in this car if it's going to run this good. The front wheels I got, I was hoping they would fit the Kyosho bearings, but they don't. They're Schumacher's, and I like the way they look, and they're nice tires and wheels, and I got them on eBay for 11 bucks shipped, which, you know, is a good deal. The problem is the holes on them are standard instead of metric, and the 8mm Kyosho ones don't fit perfectly. But I used what's it called? And there's a little groove around the bearing. It's the name's escaping me, but I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. The ones that have the lip. Well, that lip just happens to be the right size to fit in the hole of the Schumacher. I think it's 9.5 millimeters is what the measurement of the Schumacher hole is in metric, instead of, I don't know if it was 3/8 or whatever that comes out to. I can't remember. This was months ago when I did the setup. So they don't roll quite as good as they could, but they roll well enough, and eventually I'll get a better setup. Thought somebody's walking over here. I heard voices, and it's from the football field like a half-mile away. Gosh, this is great. I don't know if in the video you can see how my lift and turn, I can provoke oversteer. And it swings around. I'm trying not to go too nuts because I just don't want to grenade the diff or the gears, and I'm still, you know, kind of feeling this out. This is supposed to be a shakedown run, but yeah, it's good. It's good. I'm gonna have to take this to the baseball field. Sounds good too. I almost hit the bus. I need a cameraman out here. My son never wants to come out, so sorry for the terrible video. So you can see it's probably not going 36 plus anymore as the voltage is dropping, but I imagine we're well over 30 still, which is perfect. It's handling better than I ever expected. And I guess it makes sense. If the old motor was around 30,000 RPMs and it hit 28 miles an hour, it would only make sense if this was at 36,000, it would be closer to 36 miles an hour. So maybe the other motor was actually closer to 28,000, which still, you know, makes sense. Whoa. I just really apologize if you're not seeing much of this. It might be pointing way too high, and this video is really going to suck if that's the case. So, you know what I'll do just to get a little bit more filming in is I'll put this down here on the ground, and hopefully this will make up for it a little bit. I love how the pollen kind of kicks up too. It's not as strong here, not as much pollen as the other location I was at the other day down by the beach, but you can still see it sometimes kick up. I'm also still running on a broken end link, or turnbuckle rather. What's it called? Steering knuckle? I don't know. The little thing that holds the ball joint in place for the front. Alright, well, we landed on 4 tires. Let's see how hot this motor's getting. Uh-oh, did I? Oh, yeah. Speak of the devil, I popped it just then. Alright, let's see how hot the motor's getting here. I can hold on to it for about 5 seconds, and then it's getting a little too hot to hold. So I think that's still, as a general rule of thumb goes, acceptable. The ESC, it's hard to tell because I'm not touching the fins, I'm just touching the plastic part here. But it's hot, but I can hold it. Maybe it's a little cooler. So I think we're in business. Today's about as hot of a day as I'm going to run it. You know, it's in the low 90s today. So I think this setup is favorable for the Raider. I just popped the link back on there. They're just so hard to find. I had super glued it, but that crash was too much for it. So there we go. And as you can see, the runtime of this is going to be excellent. I don't know how much time I've run it in this video, but I don't think we're anywhere near the low voltage cutoff on my speed controller. So I'll call it quits here. I guess I've rambled on enough. Sorry if I'm a little overly excited for this setup, but it seems like it's going to be better than I ever expected. Hopefully I got the gear mesh good with the pinion because I kind of rushed it. And again, I apologize if there was too much wind noise, but it's a really windy day today. So there she is. And let me know if you have any questions in the comments.